Alright, so last time in this wonderfully fucked up campaign, Curse of Strahd, um, the party finished their business in the Amber Temple, and after all coming to their own conclusions, following more dark gifts and a discussion with Strahd himself, actually, a couple discussions with Strahd himself, the party left the temple and made their way to Rictavio's old tower out in the middle of Lake Baratok, where they kind of set up camp for the night um, with the intent of making some sort of play on Irina Kolyana, the alleged um, possessor of the soul of Strahd's long-lost love, Tatiana. In the middle of the night, however, Rictavio and Esmeralda approached Ron, basically saying that they no longer trusted the majority of the party and beseeching him to accompany them as they struck out on their own, attempting to end the reign of terror that Strahd has over the land in their own way, whatever that might be. After a bit of a rigged smoke out with with Greg, Ron was able to make his escape with Rictavio and Esmeralda, and they rode off into the night, leaving the rest of the group to awaken the next morning. Down one bard, one cleric of the Morning Lord, one seemingly just badass Vistani fighter, and one horse-drawn wagon. All of that being the case, what is the core group going to do now?
We're discussing going to find Irina.
We'd like to use the one dark gift and summon the two hellhounds.
Okay.
Use them to track down where they went.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. Well, you could certainly use them to try and catch a scent. So is that just immediately what Greg does? And like, fuck what everybody else is doing. I'm just going to try and track down the people who left.
What else is everyone else doing?
I want to find Irina.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna fly over there and.
Oh. Is it too late to retcon the hellhounds?
I mean, I would imagine there would be some conversation taking place, so we can say that hasn't happened yet. Sure.
All right. Use the hellhounds later then.
Okay.
Isn't Irina in Barovia?
Yeah.
The town?
Yep. We're gonna fly there.
That's probably where they're going as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Are you ready to get started?
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I am going to conjure animals. Gotta, 2 giant eagles. Make myself a giant eagle. Head over. They last an hour, so halfway through I'll land and well, I will land, drop my form, recast conjure animals, and then become a giant eagle again. What?
I'm just looking to see what the carry capacity of these things is. I want to bring my goat corpse.
A new armor thing you can come to, right?
I'm sure. I don't know, can he fit somewhere? He can be on the back of me. I mean,
Okay. You can carry my suit of armor.
I don't think it's gonna be able to carry that. So can I like just draw strength trying to rip off the hide of this goat? Get as big of a piece as I can.
All right, so I think this is one of those times I got to call for kind of a modified check. Let's go with a. It'll be a survival check, but it'll be modified by your strength. So if you have any, like if you have proficiency in survival, which it doesn't look like you do.
No.
So yeah, just roll a d20 and add your strength bonus.
12.
Okay. So basically, I think you kind of managed to get in around the mouth of the goat and kind of like just rip it down the middle.
Oh, gee.
I thought we already chopped his head off.
Oh, you know what? I think that is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, are you walking around with the whole corpse still?
I had the corpse, but not the head, I don't think.
Not the head. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, you go in at the stump and just tear it from there. So, I mean, I think you're able to get maybe a little more than half of the hide in one piece.
Alright. I will put that away and just leave the corpse and get on the eagle.
Okay. And yeah, what is the carrying capacity of a giant eagle? Large, and it's pretty strong. So yeah, I don't think it's really a point of concern, actually.
Carry 480.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the shield guardian might be pushing it.
I have a high strength modifier. As Yoan. That counts, right?
If only you got to keep your
Strength.
physical stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think in this case, I would say you could bring the shield guardian, but it would probably slow you down a little bit.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
2 hours.
So is that 2 hours? Okay, so I looked at every player's, so to speak, movement speed here, and I have a pretty good idea of how fast everybody goes. Weighed down, I'm gonna take a little bit off of that flight speed.
Can I use my intelligence to know the best aerodynamic way to carry the shield guardian without slowing myself down?
Well, here's one thing I will say. Not having exactly a straight line of sight all the way to the village of Barovia, somebody's probably going to have to make a survival check to get your bearings approximately right.
Well, I guess that would be me.
Sure.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you've got a pretty good idea of how that's going to work out. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really an intelligence check kind of situation as far as moving the shield guardian. I mean, it's I'm not going to assume you're doing the worst, but I'm also not going to say that Yoan has a PhD in physics. So
You don't need a PhD in physics. You can learn that in undergrad.
I don't think Yoan is a physicist.
You don't
So,
need to be a physicist. You can be a mechanical engineer.
whatever. You want me to slow you down more?
I went to school for this. I know the truth.
The shield guardian gains 100 pounds.
Miraculously.
I'll just throw its arm overboard. Nope, only has one arm now. Sorry,
Um,
Dane.
Oh well.
Okay. So that's the plan, though. Shift and fly as straight as you can toward the village of Barovia.
And
Okay.
then land, and then shift, and then fly.
Okay. So that's 2 hours of travel, you said?
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. You gotta do this thing. All secret like. And yeah, now we'll do this. So 1 hour for you guys. We'll get you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to about there. And 2 hours.
I thought you said it was 2.5 hours away.
Well, that was me trying to estimate, and it's probably like being weighed down the way you are, you're probably looking at, I don't know, 4 or 5. You're still making a hell
Wow.
of a lot better time than a wagon would. If that's any, or if you'd like to, retcon and say that you'd like to do something else, that's fine too.
I just didn't realize being slowed down would double the time.
Well, no, it's not. It's not doubling. It's me actually having worked out the math this time
Oh,
instead of
well,
trying to bullshit my way through giving you an answer.
well, I was still operating on your answer. Okay. Well, I mean, I still think those are probably the fastest ways.
Okay.
Can we land though on a place where there's, easier travel?
Yeah. So you want to like shoot maybe for a little more up on the road kind of situation?
Or like, next to the river should be pretty clear too on the riverbanks.
Okay.
Is that, am I operating close to your ideas?
I'm not sure what your what you're asking. Close to my ideas.
Yeah. Is the riverbanks clearer travel than, is it difficult terrain or not?
It would be reasonably navigable. I mean, it's not as nice as a road, but it's not a thick forest, for example.
Okay. Then yeah, we should probably stay off the roads. So
Okay.
if we can push towards, like right there.
Yeah, that's reasonable. So, say you guys get to about there with your 2 hours. And, okay. So you reach that point, and after the second casting has worn off, this is where you find yourselves along the Eveless River, sort of between the wreckage of the windmill and what you know to be the village of Barovia and a little bit nearer the Serpool encampment.
Okay. We have to head from here on foot, but we can just follow the river into it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Alright.
As a strange question, can the suit of armor carry me while I take a short rest?
If that's a thing Dane is willing to order it to do.
Sure.
Okay. Because that way I can get one of my wild shapes back and spells. Okay. I'm just
Okay.
gonna get carried by a suit of armor,
Well, I could carry you if you want.
and take a nap. I feel like that's weird, so.
Better if it's not an actual person.
Yeah.
Okay. So our trio of greasy black-furred adventurers begins traveling down the riverbed here. All right. So let's see. So the first hour will get you to right about there, and let's see. Okay. Second hour. All right. So at this point, you're kind of squeezing, like it's not going to be rough terrain or anything, but you are flanked on both sides by the woods. So I'd like you, someone in the group, to make a perception check just to kind of keep an eye out as you're traversing the area.
Who's great at perception?
Not me.
My roll not come up.
What?
My roll not come up.
No.
I
Oh,
saw
there
it.
it is. Yeah.
I don't know why it's delayed for everyone else.
Okay. Let's see. All right. And so you continue on, weaving through the varying stands of darkish trees. And let's see here. That then will get you to about, or we'll say like right about there. Cool. And you're just pushing on all the way to the village, yeah?
Yep.
How much
Okay.
light does it look like we have left in the day? Was it still early?
Well, you left like right when you got up, and it was pretty early in the morning. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, right now at this very point, it's probably about noon.
All right.
So, yeah. Let me just. I'll basically just move you guys there, and I'll let you know what time it is once you get in.
Okay.
So 1, 2.
Also, you're ecstatic again.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it takes you till about 6:30, 7 o'clock to hoof it the rest of the way along the roads. But you do eventually make your way to the village of Barovia.
Is there anyone on the outskirts of the town that sees us when we're coming in?
Let's see. I mean, it's not really a fortified area. So
I'm gonna suggest we come in under the cover of night, since it's pretty close to nightfall in Barovia, right?
yeah, I mean, you're getting pretty close at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can just wait, like half an hour.
I can't see in the dark.
I want to keep an eye on the road as well, see if anything comes in and out. We wait.
Okay.
You two keep watching. I can't see it at nighttime.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll just wait for the light to fade.
All right.
And then I'm gonna cast Locate Creature and try to find Irina.
Okay. So as far as keeping an eye on the comings and goings of people about, you guys would notice, a few farmers kind of coming in, presumably after growing their turnips or something, because they don't really have much else. Rutabagas, of course. Nothing particularly exciting seems to be coming or going from the village. Let's see. So you spend probably an hour or so just keeping tabs on that before relative darkness has descended over the village. It's kind of the later end of dusk. And if you would like to press in at this point, is that what you'd like to do, or do you want to wait for like full cover of darkness?
It's up to them.
I think it's okay. Are people like heading into their homes to hide from the darkness?
Yeah, I mean, you don't see a whole lot of activity out in the streets as the light begins to wane.
Okay, let's push in.
All right.
While we were waiting, come in. Can I have casted Secret Animals of the ritual?
Sure.
Just in case.
Okay. Yeah, so the three of you emerge from your hiding spot just off the road and make your way back into this village that, well, you have not really set foot in since early on in your visit to Barovia, if I recall correctly. So, you walk into town, and is it upon first walking into town that Yoan is casting Locate Creature?
It's upon when we start, like right before we start moving. So I'll know whether or not she's in town.
Okay. So let's see. I mean, the town is like, it takes up a couple hexes. So really, you'll probably have to walk to the center of town to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's not that long. It's probably like a 15-minute walk to the center of town.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you kind of have it running then as you walk in, and you're sort of sweeping the entirety of the outlying buildings, everything, as you do your best to kind of include everything in your field of perception. Let's see. So within 1,000 feet of you, if the creature is moving, you know the direction of its movement. All right. So you cast it, walk into town, and as you enter at first, you're not picking anything up, which is interesting, as the former burgomaster's home does lie toward the southern reaches of the village, in an area that you think you would probably pick up the presence of Irina were she home. Continue on, getting about quarter way through, and you still don't see any sign of Irina. No magical signatures indicating her presence. By the time you make it into the middle of town, you are reasonably sure that she is not here.
Okay.
Herp.
She doesn't seem to be in town. We should search the outlying areas in case she's hiding in the woods.
Should we ask people?
How do you think that's gonna go?
How are you just talking?
Well, we can ask Strahd to help locate her. I don't think any people are gonna. Well, they might tell us if they're terrified. So, can I find a. Like, maybe you should intimidate them into telling.
You can go and kidnap somebody on their way home.
Is there. Anyone outside, or are they all hiding in their houses?
Let's see here. I'm gonna roll and see what you come across here. All right. So you look around, peering down the two kind of main streets that intersect at this town square. And you don't see any foot traffic. However, you do see a faint greenish glow coming from the area to your, I guess it would be the northwest, over near the church.
I guess I'll head in that direction.
Me too.
Okay.
I'll follow.
All right. By this time, the last of the light has kind of faded, leaving the village more or less in the full dark of night. And as you venture north along the road, you approach the front of the church where a couple members, no longer with this party, once lay unconscious, I should say, after consuming some questionable pastries. The glow that you had noticed seems to be coming not from the church building itself, but something that seems to be going on behind it. Would you care to investigate further?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd light a torch before we go.
Sure.
Can I try to be sneaky?
I want to not stand by his torch.
Okay. So you're
Or wait.
spreading out.
I light it and then I throw it because I'm scared of fire.
All right.
Does it go out immediately?
I mean, Barovia is a pretty damp, misty place. I think it manages to not catch anything too notable on fire. And yeah, eventually it's just sort of choked out by the kind of hostile, heavy air. But yeah, so you creep around one side of the church and looking around into the cemetery that lies back behind it, you can see what looks like a regiment of ragtag troops standing there in spectral form, a faint greenish glow emanating from all of them. One of them paces back and forth in front of the group, seemingly giving a silent word of encouragement before they seem to be marching off to battle. And after a few seconds of watching this, march off they do. And you watch as this wave of spectral individuals marches off down the cemetery path out of the gate, around the front of the church, past you, even through you in some cases. Marches down the street to the center of town and turns down the road that you recognize as the old Svalak road leading eventually out of town and through the woods. But still, there is no arena to be found, and no living being who is outside and able to be interrogated. There are plenty of residences, even a few businesses if you choose to engage with them in other ways, but no stragglers tonight, it would seem.
I have an idea.
Mhm.
Either of you know where Irina lives?
I don't.
She was living in the burgomaster's place.
Yeah, Yoan has been there.
Yeah. That will bring us back to that place.
Okay.
If we can get a belonging, I can potentially find her.
Hmm.
Having a belonging or a piece of hair or something would make it easier.
I guess let's yeah, enter the place and find a belonging of hers.
Okay. So we pick things up across town, having made your way there and seen on the approach that the former burgomaster's mansion has become even more decrepit and overgrown in the time that you've been away. Let's see here. So, yeah, it might take a moment because it seems all of the first floor entrances have been barred or barricaded in some form or fashion, but it's easy enough to eventually make your way in and have a look around. So,
I'm keeping up my spell in case I get a blip.
okay. In case she's like 1,000 feet under the ground or something.
I don't know, she can walk into the radar, like.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because
Do
she's
I-
not here now doesn't mean she won't ever return.
Yeah.
Where'd
Well,
Muriel
I
go?
think I do. Muriel, for the time being, has been flying alongside you and basically sticking by you.
Okay.
Seems more or less unperturbed by the plans that you've made, and basically just wants to do what she can to perhaps take care of this crazed vampire lord once and for all, no matter what the means might be to that. Alright, so it doesn't look like I have a map for this particular one. But, yeah, so you walk in, and you're greeted by an old, dusty manor. On the one side, you can see the bare spot on the floor that Yoan would remember once housed the coffin of the deceased burgomaster. But yeah, looking around, there doesn't seem to be anyone here. And so you seem to have free reign of this house. That being the case, I would like whoever is looking for some sort of remnant of arena to go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh boy.
Nothing lower than a 20. All right.
2 nat 19s and then a nat 20.
Yeah. All right.
I think we found every single one of her possessions that are here.
um, so yeah, you with relative ease make your way upstairs and determine which of the many rooms along the hallway that you find once belonged to Irina. Walking in, you can see a number of seemingly discarded bits of clothing, like personal items, a few bits and pieces of jewelry, and other sorts of adornments like that. You seem to have pretty much free reign of anything reasonable that you could find in someone's bedchambers.
Is there like a hairbrush?
Probably. Let's see. We'll say sure.
Alright. Once we get like the hairbrush and maybe like a couple other belongings, I would like to cast scrying looking for Irina.
Okay. And that is 10 minutes. Cool. So, as you begin to scry on Irina, let me make sure she is approximately in the same kind of setting, just so I'm not bullshitting you. All right. At this point, you see in your mind's eye as visibility seems to swoop upward from your body, and then in a single blurred motion just refocus in on something else. Difficult to determine exactly where, but you can see Irina Kolyana making her way briskly through the woods somewhere in Barovia. You know that she is somewhere on this plane, as if she wasn't, the spell wouldn't have worked. She is moving with purpose through dense woods and has on her back a sizable bag, suggesting that she's in this for the long haul wherever she's going.
Can I keep watching her and listening for the full 10 minutes?
If you'd like, yeah.
I would like to.
Okay.
Find any landmarks or anything that she runs by?
Right. So let's see. I think toward the end of that 10-minute window, you do see her dart across a road. There's not much to identify the road itself, other than it is flanked on both sides by the thick woods that you've come to expect in Barovia.
Alright.
I can turn myself into an eagle and fly around and try to find her with my spell. But I can't bring you with me.
Okay. We'll meet you out of town.
So I'm gonna turn once again into a giant eagle and start flying down, following the roads, searching for her. Fairly low to the ground. Because I can have both locate creature and wild shape up at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so functionally the way that's going to work, just so we can agree on the technical side of this, is like if you're tracing the roads, if she is in one of the hexes adjacent to the one that you're in, you will notice her.
Okay.
Just, because of rounding and stuff, that's kind of how it's going to work out. Okay, so you're immediately heading out, turning into, well, heading out, casting your spell, turning into a giant eagle, and beginning to canvass the surrounding roads.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us see. So we'll say you basically start here. And with full movement speed, and really you could even, basically you could dash in technical terms while maintaining this. So after 1 hour, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, so after half an hour, you are this far, and nothing seems to have set off the alert that you are keeping an eye out for. At that point, the path does fork. You remember that there is the path that leads more directly north through the Vistani camp at the Serre Pool, or there's the winding path that leads through the woods.
I'll choose the second path.
Okay.
Because she said Ron said that the Vistani betrayed her. I think he told us the message.
Trying to remember.
She sent back.
Yeah, because I know we covered that last session. Is that something that Ron told people? You know what? I think it was, because there was another message that you sent after that.
Yes.
Or another sending that was most definitely not.
Yeah.
Okay. So, bearing that in mind, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11. You sweep about that far, and again, you do not find any trace of Irina.
Okay. I guess once my spell ends, I'll fly back.
Okay. And so that's easily enough done. Another, call it half hour or so.
I'll just land and shake my head.
Okay.
Could try again later. Just bring the hairbrush, and if there's like a picture or something, bring that too.
All right. Reasonable enough. So what's the next move?
Do we happen to have anything of Ron's?
I don't know, do you?
I don't know. I don't. So we could check him as well. He might be meeting her.
I don't know if no one has anything. It would still be possible to scry. It would just be more challenging.
Okay.
What do you mean?
We could find Ron instead.
Oh, I don't think I have anything that belongs to him. Wait, he gave me that ivory drinking horn. Would that count?
That wasn't mine. I stole it from somewhere.
But I mean, it became yours. Like, that's how stolen things work.
Yeah, I would consider it a personal effect. And there's also the fact that you were... while you didn't know Ron for super long, you were familiar enough. It was more than just meeting in passing.
So like the +0 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if I would give you the +5, because that's more like, oh, I know you, motherfucker. But it's definitely There wouldn't be any. Or sorry, I'm saying plus. It would be
The negative.
anyway. Yeah, you get the idea. But yeah, so it is still feasible to try and scry on Ron and try that as well. You know, that's another option at your disposal.
We could consider doing that tomorrow.
I mean, I could scry on him too.
It's up to you two. I have 2 uses left.
Yeah, I guess can I try and scry on him?
Sure.
Hand deal in the ivory drinking line.
Okay.
Okay, how does this work?
So basically, your situation plus the casting sets up a saving throw that needs to be made.
Okay, so I'm familiar with Ron, I think, at this
I,
point.
I would say at this point, yeah, like you've been adventuring together for the whole length of time here in Barovia, so I would give you familiarity.
Okay. And then I have a possession.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's -9.
Okay. And your DC on that?
My spell DC?
Yeah.
Spell save DC is 16.
Good times.
So what, he has to roll a 25?
Wisdom check too.
Can he roll that high?
You don't know. Okay. So you set all of the things up just so and begin your casting of the scrying spell. Are you is this like a burned spell slot? Are you ritual casting? What's the
It's the thing I got from the thing.
Okay.
And, yeah,
Oh, you got the
Mhm.
scrying one too.
yeah. I just know Ron better than you, so.
Okay. The wisdom save roll is in. So, as you finish the casting of this scrying spell, and again, much like as Greg had used the spell before, your visibility kind of rapidly elevates away from your current perspective. And overlooking Barovia for just a moment, you see a blur of motion. Difficult to determine the exact direction. But your spell doesn't seem to find a target.
Dun dun dun.
Wow. I just turned towards him and I'm like, I cannot locate Ron.
Should we try one of the other 2 that was with him?
You could try that.
I can't. Well, was I not successful? Because I can't use scrying spell if I wasn't successful for 24 hours. So.
I mean, I would say, let's see, how are we defining unsuccessful?
That was
Hooray,
my
nitpicky
question.
things. Let's
Successful
see.
save.
Okay, yeah, on a successful save, the target isn't affected and you can't use the spell against it again for 24 hours. So you could use it on something else.
I totally missed the word it. Okay. Tavia or Esmeralda? I'll go with Esmeralda. I don't have anything of Esmeralda's. Did I take a weapon from her?
I don't know if you did. I think Dane's first suit of armor had taken one.
Yep, it had one.
I have a shield. Did I take the shield from her?
I thought you had a shield before.
No, I didn't start with a shield. Because I picked up the Wardcaster feat.
All right.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know that she had shields though. Like she's not a
Okay.
shield user, so
Yeah, then I don't have anything from her. Does anyone have anything from her? Or anything of hers? I turn towards Dane and not Greg.
I don't have anything of hers. Or Octavio's.
To scry on them. Okay, well, I will try to scry on her. And I guess I know her well? Do I know her well by this point? Or do I know Rictavio well?
I would say you're more likely to know Rictavio well. Let me type an answer to something really quick though before we proceed.
Bavard is metagaming. He's protecting everyone.
Do we have any of her wagon left?
I am definitely not metagaming.
I'm just kidding.
That would be something someone would say if they were metagaming.
We've sent 7 lines across this entire thing.
Are you waiting for a response, Eric, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait. I'm not gonna cast this. They're in a bubble. They're probably in a bubble. Magic can't go through the bubble.
I forgot about that. I don't think Greg or me, I don't think I would know the intricate work of that spell yet anyway.
Well. We can take a long rest here, and then in the morning head towards Castle Ravenloft. I feel like they're going to head there. Or we can head there now.
It's getting awfully late. Probably do that in the morning.
Yeah.
Do we have any way to send them a message?
I don't.
Okay, neither do I.
Do not believe I do as well.
I'll ask Muriel as well, see if she knows how to contact them. Does Muriel know how to contact them?
Yeah, one second. I'm working with Taylor on something.
While that's going on, I'm going to throw him 3 fuzzy balls.
I mean, we can probably spend the night in the Burgomaster's place. Get some comfy beds.
Then we have to sneak out of town in the morning.
Maybe it abuts to the woods?
I don't know.
I would have to ask
Okay,
her.
so that's squared away. Somebody was going to ask Muriel something?
Does she have a way to contact Ron or Octavio or Esmeralda?
She tells you no, she's not gifted in the ways of magic so much as, the whole changing into a raven person thing.
Okay. Do you and your
Uh,
friends know where they might be?
She tells you that she doesn't have a lot of friends in the village of Barovia. Her family, so to speak, mostly kept their lodging at the Blue Water Inn in Vallaki, or the Wizard of Wine's winery.
Okay.
the burgomaster's place. Does it abut to the woods, or?
It does not. It's kind of across town from the woods.
Okay. How is it across town from the woods?
Well, as across town as it can be. So, like, it's on the south end of town.
Okay. So where there's kind of an open field?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not stay in that.
We can stay in the woods a ways and then head to Castle Ravenloft in the morning. I want to scout out the road and see if they're there.
Okay. So
Okay.
you're crashing at the Burgomaster's for the time being.
No.
Oh, you're not. Okay. Sorry. Oh, that's right, because you said no because it doesn't abut the woods. So, where are you crashing, or are you crashing?
I mean, we can head on the woods and see if we can find his bubble. And then crash if we can't farther up the road at Castle Ravenloft.
Got it. On foot?
I'm not asking you, I'm asking the party.
It's getting awfully late, isn't it?
It's just dark. I mean, dark or night sets early in Barovia. Oh, it's
Okay.
probably pretty late.
Yeah, since you researched town and then you flew all over the place.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a rest shortly outside of the village.
Okay. Off in the woods or along the side of the road? What's your
Off
preference?
in the woods.
Okay.
Hey, it's probably like, what, 100 yards from the road?
Okay. And yeah, pretty near to the village, you said?
It'd be
Maybe
like
somewhere with the river towards
there?
our backs. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's good for everybody, we can say you take the time to get there. And yeah, it pretty much keeps you on the same schedule that you were on before. By the time you get there, it's probably, with all the searching and stuff, you're looking at like 11-ish. So you bunk down and just sleeping in the woods.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody keeping watch or just counting on being scary, oily fur people to keep you safe?
Well, I wanted my 3 creatures to come out. And then I wanted to
right,
use
that's the thing you did. So what are they?
a badger, a dire wolf, and a giant elk.
Okay.
I have my shield guardian as well to keep an eye on
Cool.
things.
Cool.
And then for the first hour, I want to use beast sense on the badger because it has dark vision.
Okay.
And I'll just look through its senses. And then after that, I'll just go to sleep.
Gotcha. All right. And so you do that. You have a defensive perimeter of
Could I have been reading my book while we walked along the river and while we were waiting for night to fall? I was just gonna have the armor carry me while we walked.
That's true,
so I
because
can
the
read.
armor was carrying you. You know what? Yeah, so let's see. You took a rest, which would have gotten you here. So that's 1, 2. Yeah, you're probably looking at about 6 hours of reading.
Okay. It's not enough. Okay.
Okay. So, with a defensive perimeter of woodland creatures and a giant robot thing, uh, you set up camp for the night. And let me then.
Does anything want to make the poor decision of bothering us?
I think it's a pretty
Oh,
peaceful night for you guys.
Before I fall asleep, here's a question.
Great question, much wild.
Okay. If I cast this, it says I can instantly gain knowledge of up to 3 facts of any choice about any of the things as they relate to the area.
Indeed.
It says I can find peoples
Indeed.
up to 3 miles. Can I cast this and see if I can find the bubble? Because it says buildings.
The bubble.
The bubble?
Sure.
I don't know. I think the bubble counts as a building.
Dubious. So
Just structure of some sort.
it's a structure. Yeah. So let's see. I mean, 3 miles. If let's use your mini. So then that's basically. Hold on. I gotta zoom in because this shit gets hard to see far away. So distance-wise, we're talking like call it 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1 mile. 2, 3, 4, 2 miles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 miles. So a radius that big in all directions. All right. So you.
Or can I find a he still has the saber-toothed tiger with him, right?
As far as you know.
Can I find the saber-toothed tiger? Any saber-toothed tigers in the area?
Are there any saber-toothed tigers in the area? Okay, and that's still that same 3-mile radius, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, officially speaking, is the saber-toothed tiger question one of your facts you would like answered?
Yes.
Okay. There are no saber-toothed tigers within 3 miles.
Okay. Really, that's all I wanted to know. What about a bubble?
Let's see. You do not detect any bubbles of magical origin. There are bubbles of air origin.
Okay.
You can see if there's an entrance to the castle. Hidden entrance.
Yeah, can I find a hidden entrance? If there's a hidden entrance to the castle or a tunnel? Can I find all tunnels?
Okay, please hold while I refer to chapter 4 of this book, which I believe is the largest chapter of this book. I think I know the answer to your question. I just want to give you correct information.
Bam.
No.
Actually, let's go to the Googles and see if there's a shortcut I can take here.
3 miles is a pretty long distance for a spell. I'm gonna cast this at ritual because 10 minutes doesn't take that long when we're gonna bed down soon. So
Okay, the Googles have not been very helpful, but this diagram might be. Hmm. Let's see. A couple more things I gotta check here.
yay. Asking complicated questions.
I mean, like, this is by far the most complicated dungeon in the module, believe it or not.
I don't believe you.
There's a dungeon nearby?
Castle Ravenloft.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that's within 3 miles?
Well, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I thought
it
that
is.
was a little farther than that.
Well, you guys are pretty close to it. Because I think it's 4 of those hexagrams is a mile.
Jeez.
Yeah, so you've got a pretty good range.
Yeah.
Like, freaking this.
No.
It's like 4 to a mile, and it's like 12 hexes.
Probably maybe something around there.
Time for us to just walk down the road, spam casting, commune with nature. We'll find you sooner or later.
you know that's a 5th level spell, right?
I can cast it a ritual.
Well, I can also cast it as a ritual, but then we're stopping for every,
Robot can carry us.
Just
Okay,
right on the
so
robot. Guess that.
I see no signs of a secret entrance to Castle Ravenloft.
Okay.
Aww.
I will do a little bit more research should there prove to be time in between, but I don't think there's anything.
Stupid castle doesn't even have a secret entrance.
Self-respecting castle doesn't have a secret entrance. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. For now, we can go to sleep. I'm gonna spend my 6 hours sleeping and then 2 hours reading.
Okay. All right. So, since we kind of front-loaded all of Ron's stuff for before the session, so that the group at large could kind of play through here. Let me see how everything else here pans out. And then maybe we'll skip over to Ron for a minute. Okay. So good. Care of this. All right. So with the core group bedded down for the evening, sleep takes them as we move our gaze elsewhere in Barovia. Very much elsewhere in Barovia. as there is a knock on the large front door of the Abbey of St. Markovia. A little bit after midnight, a solitary, robe-clad figure toting a large bag over her frame has walked in, seeking sanctuary at the behest of a thought long-lost acquaintance, who she last saw being swept up by a flying horse and its rider. And as she's led in, and we see Ron standing there. How's this exchange going down?
Well, I will immediately grab her and pull her over into a group with, everybody else who needs to, and I will cast my bubble.
Okay.
Once that's done, I will say, we should be safe to talk in here. And I will just kind of sit down and just start explaining what happened at the Amber Temple. Basically explain everything that's happened thus far.
Okay.
And kind of end it by saying, and Strahd believes that you are the reincarnated wife of, or love of his life.
And she sort of looks at you and says, and what am I to do with that information? I'm no... What did you say her name was? Tatiana?
I understand. The reason I had you come here is the other members of my group are probably not going to be as nice in informing you of this predicament. I don't know what they're going to do to me or to, any of us in this bubble, but at this point, it's either us or them. I mean, they're going to stop at nothing to get to us. So we need to stick together and try to figure something out.
And I think she pauses, kind of staring off into the distance for a minute, and says, so what would you have me do then? Just give myself up and hope that the devil finds his repose in having his way with me?
No, I don't think that at all. I think that... I honestly think that if we sit down and talk things through, maybe Strahd can help us. And maybe we can convince him to take things properly. Take you on a date. Would you be willing to at least give him a chance?
He has manipulated my mind before. She kind of pulls down her collar and shows you a couple pairs of what look like fang marks on her neck that have long since scarred over. She says, "It's why I left my village in the first place, you know." He charmed his way into my chambers twice. Not willingly, but by using whatever dark powers of manipulation and deception he has. He fed on me twice. Who's to say that the third time won't be the end of me?
I honestly can't tell you. However, the only thing I can offer is the fact that the first 2 times that he had his way with you, I wasn't there. We were not there. This time we will be there. But I think that he's going to be able to be reasonable enough to see that right now we have to handle those monsters that are running loose outside that are coming after you. He wouldn't want anything to happen to you, would he?
She says, well, nothing that he wouldn't inflict himself. There's another long period of just staring off into nowhere. And she says, what exactly do you think there is to gain from this anyway? You think he's just going to let everyone go and the two of us will live happily ever after in that dreadful old castle?
No, I don't think that. I think that even if he gets you, he's going to realize that everything that he has done, everything that he has worked for, everything that he has built is all just a desperate plea of a very selfish man. Or at least what once was a man. I don't think he will ever be satisfied or ever be happy with himself.
Then what is there to gain by this? You seem to be telling me that this is for the greater good. But at the same time, you tell me he'll never be satisfied. What's your end game?
My end game, and I'll look around at the level. My end game is to leave here by whatever means I have to. Gather an actual party, one that's not going to turn into a rambling band of monsters, and come back and finish the job.
Okay, depending on whether that's the truth or not, make some kind of check. Okay.
Was it a good roll or a bad roll?
Sounded like
You know
a bad
what?
roll.
You know what? I'm lucking that shit.
Okay.
Jesus! Still not better.
Alright, let me let's see how she's doing
Another
here.
look.
Alright. She says, I don't like the notion of being used as bait,
Well, that's
but
Ron just cuts off. Go ahead.
if there's a chance that my people could go free and then go put an end to this once and for all, I'm willing to try.
Okay.
So,
I think our first step is we need to arrange a meeting with Strahd. Let him know what's going on. I'm sure he probably already knows. He knows almost everything that's going on around here, it seems like. But let him know, maybe sit down with him, and hopefully we can get him on our side to stop the monsters. And then we can have some time to actually sit down and talk this out. Work something out, and then
She says, where is this all going to take place?
I don't know. It all depends on where the rest of my group is. We probably should stay as far away from them as we can.
In his bedroom, of course.
If anybody knows of a safe place to hide, especially in this place, it would probably be him.
She nods and says, I really hope you know what you're doing.
I hope I do too.
And is there anywhere else you wanted this conversation to go, or is she just kind of invited to crash out in the bubble now?
Yeah, I'm gonna look to Octavio and Esmeralda and say, are you guys both agreeing, in agreement with this plan? I mean, this is the best thing I can come up with. It's either we take the fight.
Octavio steps up and says, well, I don't think any plan involving sending this girl off to Ravenloft is exactly ideal, but I would rather our hands be on this than those of our former compatriots. I think this is the best we've got.
Yes. By the way, I let Danica know, and so we should have some aid in, at the very least, getting her moved if we need to, or getting us moved. But I would expect that perhaps Strahd himself might want to personally be present for this. And I mean, you two have both seen it. They've got power beyond what any single one of us can take care of.
That's certainly true. Much like her, I really don't like this plan, but as I said, I think it's the best we've got. So, for the time being, I think I can speak for both of us and say that we're with you.
Okay. Let's get some rest, and we'll get this plan going when we wake up.
All right. And so at this point, then, I mean, you've both kind of heard snippets of everybody else's situation. It sounded like core group was headed for Ravenloft. Is that right?
No.
I thought we were going down the road to keep searching for them.
Yeah. So, like, basically, we have two options. One, we go see Strahd, or two, we camp out right, beyond the curve before Strahd's place, and I feel like they're going to pass this to get to Ravenloft at some point and just kind of wait for them.
I prefer farther up the hill.
I pointed, like, here. Right before this curve.
I would think up on one of the cliffs overlooking it would be safer.
I think you got your mic up.
Sorry. I think then the cliffs would be safer.
What cliffs?
How do I point?
Just hold down your button.
Up there.
Is that a cliff, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do it up there then. Yeah.
Then we can overlook the road.
Yeah.
Be far enough away from the castle. Maybe
Yeah.
not be noticed.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll travel there and I'll read. And yeah, we will wait for them to pass.
All right. And by what means are you traveling there? Flight thing?
I mean, we can just walk.
How long would it take to walk? Go through the road?
I'd prefer flight, then we might not be noticed entering there.
Yeah. I mean, but they'll see us flying if we land. I mean, we'll have to land. I mean, flying and then landing where they can see us. I don't know. Can the castle see us up here?
Let's see. I mean, it would be an upward trajectory, but I think guards posted on the exterior would probably notice you approaching and landing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, would they think we're suspicious? Are there giant eagles flying around?
You haven't seen any giant eagles flying around.
See a giant Sasquatch on the back of a giant eagle.
I mean, how far out can the guards see? Like, is the thing blocking their vision anywhere?
So basically, let me double check the legend here. Does it not say? That's surprising. Most of these usually say. Okay. Well, it doesn't actually clarify the elevation denoted by the hash marks, but I mean, I think it's reasonable that like they would at least see something. Like
How far away would they see something approaching on the road?
On the road.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd probably be able to at least make out the fact that something is approaching within probably half a mile of the gatehouse on the non-castle side of the drawbridge.
So
So-
like here?
Like there.
Like there?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could land over here.
Yeah, well they'll see us flying. I mean, I guess I can fly following the road.
We could go the other way and land north of the castle.
I mean, we can fly like
Then walk.
Fly
and
right
then
over the
walk
castle.
up here.
Around the castle.
Go over the castle and paratroop in.
I like that plan too.
If we take this route, will they see us?
Still referring to they being the castle?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, you're talking putting like more than a mile between you and them.
Mhm.
I think it's too far for them to distinguish the fact that the eagles are giant and not just, maybe a little closer.
Okay.
The
Okay.
giant transformer on the back of one.
How long will this route take us to get to?
Let's see. Fucking 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, or will they see us if we took that route?
More likely.
Yeah, that's why I went around.
Yeah, you're probably
Okay.
looking at like an hour and a half.
We could walk part of that too.
Yeah.
Walk to like right there and fly from there.
Yeah. And then like land like here and then walk up. Okay, let's do that.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, really, no matter which of those approaches you take, assuming you're not like passing super close to the gatehouse, you're still looking like between hour and a half to 2.5 hours. So we'll say 2,
Okay.
which gets you roadside about 10 in the morning.
Well, for an hour we'll fly. No, we can fly for 2 hours. I just have to land and recast. An hour in.
Okay, and to give you an idea, just so you're aware of your options. Let me see where an hour will get you. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So an hour will get you basically like that area.
Where? Oh, we can walk the rest of the way from there, right? How long will it take us to walk that much?
I mean, it'd be a little longer, but still, like, if you want to get a little elevated on the roadside, it's probably like a little over an hour's walk. So still looking at just over a couple hours total.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay. So, that's the plan.
Yeah.
No objections.
Works for me.
Okay. So, 2 hours ish. It's like 10 in the morning, and the group is now stationed there. All right. So I know Ron had some stuff.
Yes.
So any messages or anything that you want to fire up, go ahead and hit me with those. I mean, if you're okay saying them out loud, do that. If not, go send them to me in Discord.
Yeah, I'll send them in Discord.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a short rest at this point.
Yep.
Oh, I have an idea.
I'll just sit there and keep an eye on the road.
Mm-hmm. So concerned. What?
I have an idea. Why get a reincarnation of Tatiana when I could just revive her?
Isn't there a time limit on?
Not in this version of the spell I got.
Does
You
he
need-
still have her body?
Yeah. Do you need remains?
Strahd seems like a creepy guy that would keep a corpse around for a few hundred years.
I mean, you can talk to him about it if you want. All right. I think Sadie needs to go out.
I agree with your assessment.
um. So yeah, Taylor, was that the only message?
And then maybe one to Danica, just saying, "Hey, how are you? Are you still alive?"
Okay. I will take that into consideration. I gotta let Sadie out because she's looking kind of concerned.
Okay. Concerned
See-
doggo is concerned.
She's looking pretty concerned. I wouldn't say kinda.
Say Danica.
Yes.
John. I don't remember who that was.
The original Raven lady.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
If we stay camped out here all day, I can finish reading my book.
Woo. Within the time frame to get that permanent buff?
Just barely.
No. Do you have polymorph?
Nope.
Oh. I was gonna say, turn like me into an eagle, and you can ride me and read the book. Like on the way to the mountain or whatever.
I don't think druids get polymorph.
Who cast it on me yesterday?
Hmm?
Still used it as Bungo yesterday.
Oh,
Maybe it's his specific.
yeah, it could be.
He went to Moon Druid.
I don't know. Regardless, I don't have polymorph, so. I mean, I could get it if it's available in my list, but I'm glad I got to use the commune with nature for something.
Did you just get it as well?
I get it as a free spell, so
Yeah,
I'm like,
I just got it on that last level up.
yeah, I'm like, is this gonna be useful at all? So. But I finally have a spell that's a bonus action.
Wait, what?
I have a spell that's a well, I have a cantrip that's a bonus action.
Which one?
Magic stone.
Oh,
Oh,
rip your crit for the night.
yeah. It does damage. So yeah, that would have done 10 damage as a bonus action cantrip. I just have pebbles in my pockets. Do all the magic attacks. I got so used to Maya having like all these uses for bonus actions.
I hit stuff.
Did I delete myself?
You did.
Oops. I'll have to tell Eric to bring me back. He gets back.
Quick, let me use resurrection spell.
It's only a slight problem.
Throwing all the pets. Weasel, panther, and a giant elk.
Panther could be helpful. Madam, 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 madam. No, 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 no. Yeah, every time Eric, like yesterday when Eric said the greater good, I got that stuck in my head. And today when he said the greater good, I got that stuck in my head. I'm like, you keep saying the greater good.
I forgot about that part in Hot Fuzz. Taylor,
What?
stop running from us.
Nope.
Do it for the greater good. Alright. Is everybody here?
Yes. I deleted myself. Can you bring me back up?
Why you do this?
It was an accident.
Nope. Yoan just vanishes. Ceases to exist.
I went to poof. Okay, thank you.
Alright.
The greater good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Eric,
Do I successfully take a short rest?
Yes. Brown, you wanted something?
I threw more creatures.
What do you have now?
Weasel, panther, and a giant elk again.
You and the fucking giant elk.
I keep getting 8. It's like the, what, 4th or 5th time since I got this character?
Okay. Right. And when would Ron have sent the message that you sent me in Discord?
Probably pretty much right after that bubble popped.
After the bubble what?
Popped after the bubble was done.
Okay. So yeah, probably right around the time that the core group makes their way up to this area. Well, we'll say an hour after because short rest. Or well, you got your short rest on the move, right?
On the last hour walking, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this works out perfectly. So as soon as you get to your little perch here,
Mhm.
let's see. Let us double check something. Something like that. All right, so you've been there for probably, say half an hour.
I will be reading.
Okay. When those of you who are keeping a watchful eye on the road below, notice that, well, there's still nothing on the road, but there is a flying black horse with flames for a mane being ridden by a single person off in a northwestern direction.
Does it look like it's looking at us?
Not at the moment.
Can I see who it is?
Good perception check. This person is like probably a third or so of a mile away. Alrighty then.
Don't care.
Still got that eagle vision.
This looks like one Strahd von Zarovich.
Huh.
After
What's he
them.
doing flying around?
What'd you say?
After them.
Okay. Giant eagles all around.
Eagle.
Yep. Okay. Giant eagles.
We really are going after him?
Scramble the jets. All right.
Yeah. I don't think I can fly sneakily, but we'll go after him.
Yeah, and so this time around, is this going to be one of those things that only lasts for an hour, or?
I mean, the spell only lasts for an hour.
Yeah, I'm just making sure there's not like anything else that. Yeah. Okay. So that being the case,
How much farther would we get without my without my armor?
I mean, basically, it would effectively double your speed.
Let's.
I'll tell it to wait here.
Yeah.
We'll come back for
Okay.
you. Keep an eye out. Don't die.
Okay. Cool. So that being it is, let me move you guys the requisite number of spaces. So that's gonna be 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All right. So basically, your hour of hauling ass speed flight gets you to Velaki.
Okay. Can I land and recast it if he keeps going?
Yes, he most definitely does keep going.
Okay. Land, recast.
Okay. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
I would like to ritual cast the commune with nature to make sure we're following him still and it's not someone else.
Okay. So you're getting very close, and this seems like it's just at the cusp of your range, like your time limit. So, would you like to test the odds, or would you like to land, say, a quarter mile or so outside of the village of Kresk, where this horse has led you?
Mm,
Go at a downward angle to land as close as we can, but without dying from fall.
I mean, can't we just fly low over the ground?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, if you want to, yeah, just basically fly just over the tree line kind of thing.
Yeah. Terrify everyone.
Just dive bombing the Barovians.
Yep.
That's fine. Okay. So, you do make it. And you watch as the black horse and its rider land at the base of the hill upon which the Abbey of St. Markovia rests. And I think basically in response to what Ron had sent, he would basically say, well, I can't meet at the Abbey. Meet me in the town.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
He knows your affiliation with the place, and I think he tells you to just meet him in the village proper. So is Ron and company, are they in broad daylight? Are you hiding somewhere? What's the setup?
We are. I'm meeting wherever he wants me to meet him.
Okay.
So if you told me a place, cool. If not, then I'll just kind of. I guess I'll be chilling outside of the Abbey.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll say it's easy enough to see the flying black horse on its way in,
Yeah.
and you all kind of converge in the same spot within like 30 seconds of one another. So the Eagle-born party that was pursuing Strahd atop his mount, the group that abandoned them not so long ago, and Strahd himself.
This poor town.
All the monsters in one spot.
oh, guys, once we're done with this campaign, you gotta watch Dice Camera Action, and you gotta hear about this poor town.
This poor town.
But anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of picturing it as one party on one side, probably like closest to the Abbey, the others on the opposite side, and Strahd having made landfall sort of between the two of them. And as he reins in his flying steed, brings it to a halt, and kind of casually dismounts, facing Ron and company at first, and then taking notice of the group that I think he had noticed that you were following him, but he hadn't made any effort to really do anything about it. And is Irina at this point out in the open as well?
I don't know. I guess if she wants to, like, this is up to her.
All right. Well, I mean, I think she is pretty happy staying within the sort of barrier created by the rest of the group. So, you know, if Esmeralda and Rictavio are there, she has probably found a way to situate herself, like between the two of them, behind you, as you kind of situated yourself to make first contact. And first acknowledging you, Ron, Strahd says, I see you have found her for me.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way. She wasn't too hard to find.
And you've called me here rather than bringing her to my abode because of, he gestures over his shoulder, these.
Yes, because I feared that they would bring harm to her in order to get her to you. Whereas I've already talked to her, and I think we've come to an understanding. So basically, I am presenting you with the easy way, and I gesture towards us. Or, and then I kind of gesture towards them the hard way. Because last I checked, they still wanted to kill you. I just want out.
He chuckles and says, a bold move.
And you called
Must
us
say.
evil.
I was
said
not
you were.
going to force Irina to do anything. Here you are accusing without any proof.
Look at you.
We're not the ones handing over her over to a monster.
Look at what you've become. You yourselves have become monsters.
So is he.
No.
I recall you desperately trying to be a were-raven. Last time I checked, that was a monster.
Is, what's her nuts still there? I can't think of her name.
Muriel?
Muriel, yes. Sorry, I couldn't think of her name.
Yeah, she would have been able to keep up, so she's there.
I'll just
If
look
that's a
over at
thing you're still willing to say, that's fine, but she's there.
I'll look over at her and say, no, were-ravens are not monsters. They're in control of themselves. You were running around like kids in a candy store in the Amber Temple.
I remember you taking some as well.
I did take a couple. But I don't look like you.
So all you care about is looks. Okay.
Shrimp's just jealous.
Well, should we get on with what we came here to do?
Hmm. Seems like we don't have to do much. Ron's doing it for us.
Okay.
I think Strahd has been watching this whole exchange with a smirk on his face, kind of amused at what's unfolding in front of him.
Does he still recognize me?
I think from the context, he could probably recognize everyone. There's the Hulk. There's the short one. Uh, there's, I don't know, the one in the middle, and then there's Ron.
Yep.
So yeah. But and he says, well, as I was saying, he turns back to Ron and says, I am rather impressed by your boldness in summoning me here and bringing, perhaps unknowingly with me, these things. So he looks over your shoulder and says, Irina, will you finally have me join me in Castle Ravenloft? I think it's time to start rolling some dice. Let's see. All right.
I want someone to make like a concept art of my character and how they look.
And so as Strahd kind of reaches out, you see him kind of turning on the charm a bit. Irina's face sort of wrinkles and says, "I'm no more ready than I have been. But this one tells me that perhaps there is something to be gained by my acquiescence to this. And so I'm willing to play along. But I will not go with you alone. If I'm to go back to Castle Ravenloft with you, I demand an escort. These people around me have they've given me no reason to doubt their intentions. And I, frankly, do not feel safe making such a journey alone with you. You know our past. You know what you've done to me twice already. And so if there is to be any more interaction, it will not be alone. For the second time today, Strahd has a look of respect kind of flash across his face. Turns his nose up a bit and looks side-eye at Ron. Says, "You seem to have made quite the impression."
I just kind of
Very
shrugged.
well. If that is what my love desires, then that is what she shall have. Would you all do me the honor of accompanying us back to Castle Ravenloft?
I look kind of questioningly at the other group. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them.
They may come or not. My love seems to care not for their presence, so consider it a personal invitation from myself. If any of you, gesturing back at Team Furball, uh, would like to accept it.
I wasn't going to take no for an answer anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we have much choice.
Yeah, I'm definitely going.
We will go.
Alright. He says, as a show of good faith, my love, you may remain with your entourage for the time being. I will see you back at the castle, where we will begin to rebuild the bridges that I may have burned in my brash actions in the past.
At this point,
And with that,
I'll just
Go
chime
ahead.
in and say, well, I did tell her that, maybe that you could take it slow, start from square one, show her what kind of a, nice guy, what kind of a, person you are, rather than, trying to speed things along and then I will cast a message and say, from me to you, I think that's the best way to go with her. Take it slow and enjoy it. And I'll just toss him a wink.
Okay. He kind of looks at you as though to acknowledge the fact that you received them.
That's fine.
And walks over and kind of passes by you, not in a threatening way, but just to get somewhat close to Arena.
I will actually step out of the way just to give him his space.
Okay. I think as you watch, you can see Rictavio sort of place a hand on Irina's shoulder. And there's a quick little flash of something as he seems to cast some sort of protective magic on her. And Strahd sort of glares at him. And perhaps sensing somehow that making contact with her now would not be a wise decision on his part. He settles for a deep bow before turning and remounting his steed and taking off once again toward Ravenloft. So, what are the rest of you doing?
I guess we're gonna try and maybe group up again and then head to the castle together.
Well, shall we follow him?
I look to Octavio. It's your call, dude.
He looks at the rest of you and says, keep your distance, and begins walking back toward the base of the hill where the abbey rests to prepare the horse and carriage, horse and cart, I should say.
I'll go with
I'll
them.
follow.
Ooh.
Yep, I was gonna follow him as well.
Okay. And did I hear Ron is also heading that way?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, everyone apparently except Greg?
I shall follow too.
I shall follow.
Greg the smoker.
All right. So you all head back, and so is this like a tense scene of everyone just watching Rictavio prepare to travel, or is there some other action going on here?
I'm just staring at the rest of the group basically.
I give my permanently wicked grin smile at Ron.
Can I see the app bit?
The abbot, like
Yeah.
the person,
Yeah.
he does not seem to be present.
We'll turn to Ron. Do you know where the abbot is?
I'm in contact with him. Why?
I would like to ask him a question.
How far are we from the abbey? Like, the actual abbey?
It would probably take 10 or 15 minutes to head up the hill and make your way in, but possible.
Okay, I mean, I'm not within, what is it, 120 feet?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought we were closer to the abbey. I'm gonna head up to the abbey.
Okay.
I want to try and talk to Octavio when he has a chance.
I'm not
Alright.
gonna go up to the abbey then. I'm just gonna stay with Octavio.
Okay. And so yeah, Rictavio is here, setting everything up to embark soon. And I think as you approach, he kind of looks over his shoulder and says, Dane.
Hello. I know you may not trust us, but I think we still share a common goal if this doesn't work out between Strahd and Irina.
And what is that common goal?
To remove this plague from the land.
You've got my goals all mixed up.
I was talking to Octavio.
I'm here too, though.
Okay.
And our goals are to get out of here, first and foremost.
I thought it was to save this land. Or do you not care for them either? Same way you don't care for Irina.
I care for the land.
You just want to leave it in this darkness.
No, there's nothing that we can do here. You and the incredible Fail have fixed that and assured that by losing the sword.
Your help might still make the difference.
I'm gonna help. I'm just going to observe, and I am not going to be on the losing side. That much I will assure you.
I don't plan to be on the losing side either.
We may get along yet, as strange as you look.
We might still.
Rictavio- Yeah. Rictavio chimes in and says, the abbot did mention something about perhaps finally appeasing whatever it is that's been gnawing at Strahd all these years.
If that
Perhaps a successful relationship with Irina would make that happen.
If that works and I'm able to recover my sword, I guess I shall have no issue with him.
He just looks at you for a moment and goes back to preparing the cart. In the meantime, Yoan is taking a trip up the hill. So once you make your way up to the abbey proper, what's the plan?
I mean, I want to find the abbot.
Right. And you do that, and you make your way in. Otto, leads you on after a bit of confusion, like, do I know you?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he grows to recognize you soon enough and brings you once again into the main hall of the abbey, where he lets you in, and you see in his typical situation, just standing reading from an old-looking tome. You see the abbot.
Okay.
He looks up and says, interesting company. Only the one today.
Yes.
What of the others?
They're preparing down the hill.
And what brings you here?
I wanted to know what your plans will be if, well, I'm not sure Ron has Irina's best interests at heart. And I want to know what your plans are if Irina and Strahd are successful in a relationship or not.
If Strahd's desires are met, his heart cured of the cold rot that seems to have befallen it, I would imagine that Barovia would change drastically for the better. I have no reason to believe that travel in and out would be barred anymore, nor that the souls of those who live and die here would be kept the same as the living. I wish them the best. That's, after all, the same endeavor that I was undertaking when you and your motley band of adventurers walked in the gates for the first time. You remember Vasilka? He gestures over at the creepy, lurching flesh golem that seems to be practicing a curtsy even still.
Yes. However, I have reason to believe, from things I've learned at the Amber Temple, that Strahd killed his first love in order to gain his power.
Let me take a quick look at what the abbot knows about this situation. Right. He says, I don't know that that is entirely the case. For as the story goes, at least from what I've heard, Tatiana wasn't the only one to leave us that night. There was another von Zarovich living in the castle. Strahd's brother, Sergei. If I am understanding correctly what I've heard, and this only in bits and pieces from the elders of the few settlements that I've visited, Sergei was found murdered in the halls of the castle. Cause of death indeterminate. I wonder if perhaps there was something darker at play than even we could have imagined. Food for thought. He looks back down at his book, finishes the passage that he was reading, and closes it, tucking it away on a shelf, and says, "Be careful. You seem to have embarked down a dark path. It would be a shame if anything were to lead you so far astray that the Morning Lord would no longer shine his glory upon you."
Yes, what a shame.
Kind of narrows his eyes and just abruptly turns and heads off across the hall.
I will turn at the same time
Okay.
and head back to where they're preparing.
All right. So if there's nothing else that anyone wanted to do,
Is Strahd still around? Strahd?
He's in Kresk, I think.
he is in Kresk. Last time you saw him, he was drinking in Kresk.
Should we take him along as well?
Sure.
You gonna go find him?
I'll go with you if you want to find him, Dane.
Sure.
Maybe
You
we
might
can,
like to see the conclusion of this.
well, maybe we can just have a chat. Catch up.
All right.
That works as well.
You head down the road to one of the local drinking establishments, where you walk in and see three holdovers from Valaki. Strahd, flanked on either side by the two wolf hunters, Soldar and Yevgeny. Pretty deep in the cups already. Strahd kind of looks over, slams his tankard down on the table, and says, "It's you! Wasn't sure I'd ever see you again, going to the Ember Temple."
Well, and I kind of look over to.
Who's the Wolfman?
Some
Hey,
of
you
us made
hunt
it
these,
back in
don't
better
you?
shape than others.
He punches Soldar in the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, do your job." Points at Dane.
I'm just gonna take a step back, away from Dane.
I'll follow him.
Like, no, I'm just fucking with you. What is going on?
We were going to visit Strahd's castle if you wish to join us.
There's a long pause, and he's like, "You go to one of the most dangerous places in Barovia. You come back alive, and then you want to go to the other most dangerous place in Barovia."
Yeah, the first one worked out. Why not the second?
Yeah, the first one didn't kill us.
Gives a kind of disbelieving look to the greasy furball standing next to Ron.
So look at
See-
me. Do I look any different?
You seem to be doing all right, but this one was with you before, yes?
I let him out of my sight for 5 minutes and he came back looking like this. Don't worry, the Amber Temple that was like a kid in a candy store for them. The castle will be nothing like that.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Jesus.
That nat one that's still a 16, though.
Gonna use a luck.
We rolled a 16.
Still an at one.
So I am down to 1 luck for today.
Alright. He picks up his tankard and goes to like take a drink, realizes it's pretty empty, kind of like tosses it over his shoulder and says, "Fuck it. Got nothing else to do."
That's the spirit.
He like slams the table and stands up. One freakishly oversized red hand kind of hanging loosely by his side. And he says, "See you later, boys," and walks out, kind of leading the way, not knowing where he's going.
That's fine, I'll follow him.
Okay. Yeah, it takes him a minute. He kind of like stumbles one direction, stumbles another direction, and yeah, eventually makes his way over to the cart.
I'm following him
Yeah.
because I have no idea where we're going.
Fair enough. And
I'll sort of guide them back to the cart.
okay. He walks up and kind of looks at the fucking Yeti standing there.
Hi.
Goes,
Meet.
who's this one? You
He's
don't look
new.
like what was his name? Milky or something?
No, Milky, he got burnt up by a fireball. Kind of like the things you throw with your arm.
And the Amber Temple is fine, he says.
I mean,
Fine. I'm
he-
sure it was
going
fine.
he stood in the wrong place. The rest of us were fine. Just don't stare in where he stood in the equivalent of the Castle Ravenloft, and you're fine.
He was on the ceiling, so just don't stand there.
Yeah. Well, only you can stand on the ceiling, right, Bane?
Nah, I can.
Well, yeah. But you're the only one who can at this point now.
Yeah. I'm telling that guy not to stand on the ceiling. That was the problem.
Okay.
It was the fall that killed him.
It really was.
He he kind of like walks over, kind of puts a hand on Greg's shoulder and says, "Hey, Bigfoot, who is that?" He like kind of points over toward the cart at Irina. Says, "She is beautiful, like the girl of my dreams."
Maybe you should go introduce yourself.
Do I hear this?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. And he begins to.
That one's
stumble
not
across.
yours.
Do I
That
hear
was
this
Strahd's.
conversation going on?
Sure.
I'll say, you might not want to, Strahd has already claimed her.
And looks around, says, "I don't see Strahd anywhere. Don't see his name on her. I can check closer, though."
It's okay if you die. I can bring you back for a price.
I am going to... I'm going to cast a Dissonant Whispers at him. And I'm just going to whisper in Strahd's voice and say, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Okay. And that's a wisdom save.
That is.
Alright, let's see. What's your ungodly DC now?
19.
Alright. Okay, gonna need a nat 20. Give me that nat 20, or there's problems. Nope, that's a 10 total. Okay. So that happens. And I guess roll damage?
Oh yeah, I always forget about the damage. He's drunk, he'll think it's a hangover anyway.
Yeah, he kind of like, you see him stop in his tracks. He like looks around for a minute. And I think RP wise, like the fleeing thing, it just turns into him like running and kind of like taking cover off to the side of the street. And you hear from like behind a pile of crates or kegs or something, you just hear.
What'd you do that for, Ron?
I did nothing. You saw. Hey, I don't want to incur the wrath of Strahd any more than you do. Not at this point, at least.
Yeah, now's not the time for that.
Yes, I agree. Plus, maybe this will sober him up a little bit.
That would probably be a good thing.
Right, he emerges from the alley that he ducked into, kind of wiping his mouth.
So, oh, you feeling a little better? You just kind of took off running there for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. It happens sometimes.
I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation and clean his shirt off. Where I would assume he is just barfed all over.
Well, I think once you do that, you see him kind of like feeling to see if he got any on him. He's like, not too drunk. I missed the shirt.
Indeed, you did.
Anyway,
Yes. I wonder what's taking Yoan so long. Should one of us go up there to find her? Him? Is Yoan a him
and
or a her?
yeah, probably around now is when Yoan will be returning.
Oh, I was gonna say, I lean into Dane and I say, is Yoan a him or a her?
Not sure.
Oh. Okay.
But it's over there.
Oh. Okay. Hi, Yoan.
When I return, I want to go over to Irina and whisper, if she has problems with Strahd, just tell me and I'll take care of it. And always relax. Having you there might send him into a relaxed state, which may make it easier to kill him.
Yeah, she's visibly guarded as you approach, but she listens well enough.
And then, I'll just leave.
Okay.
And unless Rictavio, when he'll be ready.
Yeah, and there's been, a good amount of time. I mean, we're talking probably close to half an hour between your travel time and your exchange with the abbot and all that stuff. So, I think it's probably about time to head out. And so if nobody else has anything they'd like to do...
They probably won't let us on a cart, will they? On the wagon?
If they do, I am watching all three of them.
Will they let us on the wagon?
You don't have 3 eyes, unlike me.
No, but I'm gonna make sure you guys all sit right in the same area, so I keep an eye on all three of you.
I'm curious. That thing I got where if I meet the requirements, either I die by someone that hates me or I kill someone that reveres me to turn into a vampire. How long does it take to transform? Like once the requirements are met, is it like an instant thing or?
Well, it depends on the way in which it happens, right? Because there's, if it's the one that involves you dying,
Probably like the
you
next
get
day or something.
buried, and you have to be buried in the ground or, something effectively the same, like some dirt somewhere. After which you will then rise as a vampire.
Can I just throw a handful of dirt on him and have him come back?
Not quite.
Piles
okay.
them on his head.
It's like baptize him in dirt.
What if I killed someone that revered me, and then I brought them back to life with a resurrection spell? Would I go become a vampire and then unbecome a vampire?
I don't know. If you'd like to figure that out, we could give it a shot.
Hey, Ezek. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Maybe later.
All right. But yeah, so if nobody else has anything they'd like to do, oh right, asking about being on the cart. I think Rictavio repeats himself and says, "Keep your distance."
So that's a no.
I'll hop on
Sounds
the
like a
back of
no.
the cart. Far away from him.
I hop on the top of the cart without asking.
Just chill on the back of the cart.
He kind of looks back around and narrows his eyes.
Is this too close?
I'm just gonna pull out my book and start reading.
He turns back around without a word and kind of in a huff just gets the horse going, and you begin the journey out of Kresk and back across Barovia. We can fast forward to the point where you round that last bend leading
How long
up
does that take?
A while.
a while. Yeah, because you're reading and you want to know.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I mean, basically, you're looking at probably 15 hours all told.
I finished my book. That's what, 2 wisdom points?
Yeah.
Okay. I only needed 9 hours, so. Yeah, I'll take a short rest after.
Okay. And yeah, so we cut to the wagon rounding the corner and that last quarter mile of the journey up through the mountains to Castle Ravenloft. And as you round that corner and your eyes rest on the old castle for first time in, well, in some of your cases, like, I don't know, a day.
I want to grab my friend too.
Okay. You watch as the massive drawbridge begins to lower, seemingly of its own accord, and you push right on over it and into the courtyard, overlooked by a number of turrets and spires. And you see the large, looming front doors of the keep in front of you. And that's where we'll pick it up next time.
Hiss.
No one